Today's topic is from your Flamingo. The name of the lesson is The Last Lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. He is a French novelist. The Last Lesson is set in the days of the Franco-Prussian War, in which France was defeated by Prussia, led by Bismarck. The French districts of Alsace and Lorraine passed into Prussian hands. The two protagonists of the story, M. Hamel and Franz, are from Alsace. M. Hamel is a French teacher and Franz is one of his students. The story revolves around how the war plays a pivotal role in their lives. Now the summary of the lesson. Franz started for school very late that morning. His French teacher, M. Hamel, had announced that he would question the class on participles. Poor Franz did not know even a single word about them and was afraid of a scolding from his teacher. For a moment, he thought to run away and spend a warm and bright day outside. It was a pleasant day. Birds were twittering outside and soldiers were doing practice. All these things were more attractive than the rules of participles, but anyhow, he forced himself to move hurriedly to school. When he was passing the town hall, there was a crowd in front of the bulletin board. For last 2 years, all the bad news like the lost battles, order of commanding officers were all coming from that notice board. He thought without stopping what could be the matter then. The blacksmith who had read the bulletin told Franz not to hurry. There was plenty of time, but Franz did not slow down. He thought the blacksmith was poking fun on him. When Franz reached the school, he was very surprised to find that everything was quiet. Usually, when the school began, there would be a great commotion and activity. Franz had often counted on the commotion to get to his desk unnoticed, but that day everything was quiet as it was on Sunday morning. Franz noticed that all of his classmates were already in their seats and M. Hamel was walking up and down with his iron ruler under his arm. He had to open the door and reach his seat in front of everybody. He was blushing and was very frightened. What surprised and confused him more was that instead of scolding him, M. Hamel spoke very kindly to him and told him to take his seat. M. Hamel had put on his beautiful green coat, his frilled shirt, and his embroidered black silk cap. He used to put on these clothes only on special occasions. But it was no special day. Franz could not understand why M. Hamel had put on those Sunday clothes. There was still another surprise in classroom for Franz. There were village people on the back benches that had always been empty. The former mayor, the former postmaster, old Hauser, with his triangular cap, and some other village people occupied those back benches. M. Hamel climbed up his chair and spoke to his pupils in a gentle and serious tone. He told them that an order had come from Berlin. French would not be taught anymore. Instead, German were going to be taught, and the new teacher was expected to arrive the very next day. They were going to have their last lesson in French that day. Now it dawned on Franz what order there was on the bulletin board and why the blacksmith had told him not to hurry. He also could see why M. Hamel had put on his best clothes. M. Hamel's words struck Franz like a thunderbolt. He was lost in thoughts. He had hardly learned to read and write. He felt he would have to stop forever. He was sorry to have wasted his time. He had always been enjoying himself outdoors. He had hated his books. He had dreaded M. Hamel and his iron ruler. But his attitude suddenly changed. He felt his books were good companions. He did not mind M. Hamel's ruler and rebukes. Now, he also understood why the people of the village were there. They were also sorry that they had not to school more. Now they had come to thank the teacher for his faithful service. M. Hamel asked Franz to tell the rule for the participle. Franz wished he could tell the rule, but he failed miserably. M. Hamel did not scold Franz. He said Franz was not the only person to blame. The people of Alsace had never been interested in learning. They put it off till next day. Franz's parents wanted him to earn some money instead of going to school. He said They were strange Frenchmen who could not write or read their own language. He blamed himself also. He said sometimes he closed the school when he wanted to go fishing. M. Hamel then talked about the French language. He called it the most beautiful, the clearest, and the most logical language in the world. He wanted the people of France to treasure their language. According to him, whenever the people of a particular nation are enslaved, as long as they are attached to their language, it is as if they have the key to their prison. It was M. Hamel's last day at school, but Hamel had the courage and devotion to do his teaching work as usual. He taught grammar, he gave writing exercises, he asked little children to trace their fishhooks. Franz listened to his lesson attentively. He felt M. Hamel had explained the lesson so clearly that he had never done before. It appeared to him that on the last day he wanted to give his pupils all that he had to give. The church clock struck 12. It was time for the school to close. M. Hamel wanted to say something, but he was overwhelmed with emotions. He wrote Vive la France on the blackboard and with a wave of his hand dismissed the school.